we generated around 560 plus million impressions organically. There was
creating property cards for the first time for people owning houses in the rural areas.
We have a patent on a bits technology,
but we were really guided by what we wanted it to be.
In terms of the content consumption pattern has changed.
Very competitive, very crowded. The objective is basically to democratize cancer care.
I see a very bright future for retail industry.
Technology now allows us to scale up.
We also want to help patients become more compliant.
If I look at the custom solutions market, it's almost about $1,500 billion.
Your customers will not continue to be with you if you don't change it.
We had adopted digitalization much earlier.
Within a very short span of time, we are the number one operator in the whole of South India.
If you are reaching out to a lakh people today, you would be reaching out to an entire globe tomorrow.
We got those two brands and then immediately got into a few of the LFRs and there was no looking back.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 23rd episode of Ascent Talks. My name is Ajit Panikkar. I've been an Ascent member for over 10 years and lead Nova, an air conditioning company, and Pure Blue, a tech-enabled startup in the air conditioning domain. And as usual, my co-host for the show is Aleem. How are you doing, Aleem?
Great, Ajit. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to Ascent Talks and the 23rd show. And my name is Aleem. I run an advertising and marketing company called Synapse. And we're very excited to have you on the show today. And we're going to tell you a little about Ascent first, and then we're going to introduce our host to you.
Yep, absolutely. So for people who still don't know what Ascent is, well, 23rd episode, guys, if you've been running, even if you should get up in the middle of the night, you should know what Ascent is. But if you still don't know, Ascent is a not-for-profit expression by Harsh Mariwala, Chairman, Marico Limited, and his passion to identify high-potential, growth-stage entrepreneurs and enable them to grow their enterprise and enrich their entrepreneurial journey. Launched in 2012, Ascent today empowers more than 850 entrepreneurs across India. Ascent is designed as a unique, powerful, peer-to-peer platform that leverages the power of the collective through self-facilitated groups called trust groups, which enables entrepreneurs to share and exchange experiences, ideas, insights, and create a healthy ecosystem to learn from each other. Ascent Talks, which is a weekly event held every Friday at 11 o'clock, showcases the entrepreneurial journeys of Ascent members. So, Ali, let's bring in our guest today.
Yes, welcoming Nikunj. Nikunj is the co-owner and operator of Nishant Aromas Private Limited, a company engaged in processing and exporting of essential oils and its derivatives in Mumbai, India. He is also a graduate in chemistry from Mumbai University. After his graduation, given his interest in the development sector, he chose to go to Raipur, where Nishant Aromas Essential Oil Plantation Division is located in the name of CG Herbals. He initiated the process of consolidating activities by converting captive farms and farmer clusters to organic. He's passionately involved in the production, certification, procurement, and sales. Nishant is a visiting speaker at the Rural Management Institutions of India, speaking largely on the role of aromatic crops in rural development. I mean, that sounds very interesting. And the livelihood opportunities in the essential oil industry and organic certification of aromatic crops. That's a lot, yeah. Nikunj kaise kar leta hai sab kuch. So, Nikunj, tell us about your business. Tell us what you do.
Good morning, Ajit and Aleem. I'm so excited to be here. Ascent has immensely contributed to my journey since last 2 years, and I'm very excited to be here.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Nikunj, let's start off by hearing about what you do, how you do it, and what's unique about your business.
So, Nishant Aromas, you said it all, that we are into essential oils. The company was incorporated in 1981 in Goa. I mean, today you can't even imagine doing some farming activities given the scale of tourism there. And Goa is known for all reasons other than, production of aromatic oils. But nevertheless, that is where the company started. And since then, it has been 42 years. I joined the business in 2007. That is when I graduated as a chemistry honors student from Ruya College. And since then, 15 years, Alim, I have been in business and going steady. Yes.
Fantastic.
Wow. But Nikunj, this is such a, just for our viewers, you need to, when you say aroma and everything, for our viewers, what does it actually mean? I mean, when you say, you are in the aroma business, I mean, you're not making fragrances like perfumes or anything. So let's educate our viewers as to what exactly is that ingredient and where those ingredients actually get used.
Right. So, aromatic ingredients and the fragrance and flavor industry, as we call it, I mean, we are ek to chemicals mein you have this, specialty chemicals, which is a very small segment. And within the specialty chemicals, we have fragrance and flavor, which makes a very, very small pie. So, India's total industry size, if you go to see fragrance and flavor, we are around $4 billion, We have few companies which are listed in this space also, listed in the Indian stock exchanges since last 10 years. We have had 4 listings of Indian fragrance and flavor companies. But largely, it's a very small industry per se. We have a Fragrance and Flavor Association of India. We have an Essential Oil Association of India. Combined, we have around 2,000 members, all right, in the entire association. But India is one of the finest ecosystems for fragrance and flavor industry. Given the fact that India is today the largest producer and export of mints, particularly. So the first thing which we would do early in the morning is ideally brush our teeth, and any oral care product for that matter would contain a mint product. So India's ecosystem, as far as natural products in aromatic space are concerned, as well as synthetic products are concerned, it is one of the finest in the world. Especially in synthetics, we can take an entire belt from Raigad to Baroda, which is the belt for manufacturing. And there are institutions in this region itself, like we have the University Department of Chemical Technology, which has facilitated technology of synthetics in aromatics. And likewise, given the diversity which we have, in terms of ecology. So in Kashmir, we have a lavender mission where we have been able to obtain self-efficiency in lavender oil production. When you think of lavender, you would ideally think of, beautiful fields in Provence, France, Europe, right? But in the last 10 years, because of National Horticulture Mission and Lavender Mission, which came, today you can see, beautiful lavender fields in the valley. And it is not contributing a lot to the tourism, but also towards livelihood generation to a youth, which is actually a very disturbed area if you go to see, right? So on one side, we have lavender growing in Kashmir, and then we have these plantation crops, which would be lemongrass, which would be variety of grasses which are grown in the tropics of the Deccan. So Kerala is very well known for lemongrass oil. So if you happen to go to Kerala or Ooty or for these matters, any of these touristy places, you will find these shops which are selling lemongrass oil, citronella oil or eucalyptus oil. The very fact that Nilgiri mountains come from eucalyptus, you can see how significant aromatics has been to the inherent culture of India, and also it has developed as an industry, a very boutique industry over the last 100 years almost.
Wow. So, but you say it is 4 billion market, but you still call it a boutique industry. So actually, is it really there are huge opportunities for growth around this industry?
Yes. So as an F&F industry, we've been growing at close to 9% per annum since last 20 years.
Ek minute. FNF has many meanings. So can you please tell us what FNF means according to you?
Right. Dirty mind रहता ही है.
Tell us what
full and final मतलब settlement करना है, full and final, But yeah, fragrance and flavor industry, that is what we refer to as fragrance and flavor industry, the F&F industry. So you rightly said, Ajit, I was referring more to the boutique aspect of it, but this is like a 100-year-old story. But in the recent development in chemistry in the last 35 to 40 years, and given that India has been on the forefront of specialty chemical development, there has been a lot of chemicals which have been synthesized in India, which are not only consumed in the Indian consumer industry. So anything which is consumer in nature, today we see around a lot of air fresheners. We have, in cars, in elevators, wherever we go, we are talking about air care. Okay. So this has come out as a very big segment. And most of the products which are used for formulation today, 80 to 90% of them are synthesized. So I do not want to drag too much into the technicals, but broadly there are two streams of chemicals, synthetic chemicals. One is pine derivatives, which are obtained from pine oil, which is again produced in India, and it is imported also. And the other stream of derivatives is from petroleum, that is isoprene. And we have an array of molecules. There are close to 300 molecules which are synthesized from these two streams alone. And that is what gives the bandwidth for creating an array of consumer related products. So from rose, which would be ethnic, to saffron, or say lavender, which is very, very modern, we can create an array of these fragrances using these synthetic and natural ingredients combined.
Wow. We can now show off that we know quite a bit, man. Ali? It's pretty... But it's very interesting to know about that industry, that diversity and the opportunities around it. Yeah.
So what are the opportunities and what are the changes you bring, Nikunj, into this? What is it that you bought differently once you kind of took up this business? What are the changes you brought about?
So when I entered the business in 2007, our major client was Unilever's. We were catering to some of the legacy brands of Unilever's like Lifebuoy, Rexona, Hamam, Lux, Breeze. So ideally, that was the time around when globalization was just happening. And when I entered the business, I was a little perplexed because itna dependence on one company, as a supplier was very, very risky. And when I entered the business, I thought that first of all, if we were to sustain as an organization, we need to have a more diversified buyer list. So starting from 2007, where Unilever's would contribute almost 90% of our total sales, coming to 2017, where our largest customer, by the way, Unilever's came down to less than 1% by 2012. But our largest customer in 2017, when we hit a revenue of 100 crores, that was from 6.5 crores in 2007. Our largest customer only contributed around 7% of our total sales. So
amazing.
That's very helpful.
We were able to really de-risk the business. And at the same time, what we did was there was this increase. I was just talking to you, Alim, where you mentioned that there are some luxury brands in aromatherapy coming up. And that was a time when people were like, "Arey nahi, matlab, 10 rupees ki soap is like, theek hai. Let us go and buy a 100 rupee soap." Okay. So that is where people started aspiring to enter into boutique products. And these boutique companies were very interesting because they did not have a global management system. It was run by owners. So the other day at Ascent Forum only, I met a couple of my buyers who happened to run such boutique brands. And you could talk to the buyer directly, and you would tell your story. You will show pictures of plantations, about the entire farming communities working together. So we had, a very seamless communication. At the same time, we had a story. And the consumer also started to get interested in these stories. So they are like, we do not want to buy a soap from a kirana dukan now. We want to go into a shop where, the salesperson would explain us what that soap consists of, what are the compositions, what is the social impact of this soap. These kind of ideas started floating up. And this kind of industry started developing in the West, particularly the US, from 1998 onwards. And we had been a part of it. And slowly we saw this entire shift in the consumer coming in Indian market. And I think that is what got us to de-risk our business, expand our business, and also, create a product line which was more sustainable. We were not dependent on a single buyer anymore. And at the same time, we had better valuation for our product because we had a story to tell, and we had a very clear value proposition in terms of the product offering.
Wow, that's so interesting, man. But tell me something, no entrepreneur journey is so hunky-dory as it sounds, You're a second generation entrepreneur. You come in, pick up a small organization, and then now you decide to scale it up. Share with our viewers some of the challenges that you faced. Those challenges that you've learned from, and things that you would like to share, the difficulties in this whole journey.
No, Ajit, you rightly pointed out there was a fair bit of challenges which we faced. Challenges in the sense, administrative challenges were immense in terms of organizing the entire family together, because we consist of almost 6 stakeholders in the company. So aligning our values, we had a lot of talking to do. Usually, most of the talking used to happen on dinner tables. But then, as the family expanded, we started living in different houses, and to then have a formal conversation became very challenging for us. But we had to adapt to that culture. That we talk to each other about business, and also delinking family and business also became quite challenging, especially for a boutique run business, which is so we never call it a fragrance and flavor industry. So if you see in Europe now, it is called a fragrance and flavor house. It is like modeled around like a gharana concept, which has more art than science. So it became a bit of a challenge to delink the family from the business. It is still in process, so I wouldn't say that we have completely mitigated that challenge. And that is why I have been a part of Ascent, and understanding and learning from the best people who have already done it or are in the process of doing it, learning from them. Then we had some challenges in terms of, we had a major fire which had gutted the entire factory in 2015. And almost 70% of the entire factory was razed to the ground. So that was a very big challenge, but I think that is where the core family values really, play a very major role, where we come back with the moral support of the family members, and make a comeback. At the same time, your buyer-supplier relationships played a very major role. It is very easy to switch a buyer, or it is very easy to switch a supplier, but most of our clients, which were again boutique in nature, they adjusted. They allowed us that time to recuperate, to stand on our feet, and come back. Cash flows were a very big issue, because the insurance obviously took a while to disburse that amount to us, then rebuilding the entire factory. But the fire was a very big challenge, apart from the regular challenges which we faced. But God has been kind, and everything fell in place thereafter.
It's surprising the number of people who come on Ascent Talks and are from the manufacturing sector actually talk about fires as challenges.
Yeah.
I think this is not the first time we have heard this, Ajit, and I know that
So many
each
of
one
them.
of them is such an individual story. And I remember Jatin's episode where he was talking about somebody told him, Mr. Thakkar, just sit down and watch the entire thing burn. And I mean that was hair-raising in many ways. So, Nikunj, tell us about F&F surplus. How did you get that idea, and what is that exactly, and how are you running that place?
F&F Surplus was actually co-founded with one gentleman who had spent almost 25 years in the fragrance and flavor industry, and he had played a role in more of like a purchase side. Okay. And he's like, we are dealing with 300 ingredients, and then we have an array of finished goods, and koi product chalta hai, koi product nahi chalta hai. We have left with some redundant inventory at the end of the day. The sales guy is like, it is not my job to sell your scrap, and on the other side, the purchase guy is like, I have no skills to sell this. I'm a purchase guy. So there is always like a conflict till the time, there is a situation where, the drum is probably, leaking, or, there is this entire expiry, which is nearing expiry. So these were the challenges which we realized that the industry was facing. I personally had been very, interested in environment and our impact on environment. And when I joined business, I joined it for the love of travel. That was number one, because my, business took me places, and it took me places which were very scenic, very beautiful, to plantations. The first thing which we did was 2008 was adding this organic division again, which was in line with my interest of environment. And then when this opportunity came in 2015-16, it was again, recycling again was very close to my heart. I was like, this is something which I was very keen to do. Okay? Surplus was related to recycling, repurposing, reuse, and that is where I was able to align my interest with a larger company interest and start FNF Surplus. And since then, Alim and Ajit, I'm glad to share with you that we have been able to prevent almost 500 metric ton of chemicals from going into a incineration facility or going to a landfill. We have repurposed them, we have reused them, and created again a value proposition for not only the holder of the surplus, but also companies in India, again smaller NGOs in India, which can get a very good value proposition. Just to give you an example, in US, at the end of every Christmas season or every Thanksgiving, they are left with a huge inventory of scented candles or related fragrances. Okay, because it's a very festive buying connected product. And at the end of every year, we usually pick up these lots, we repurpose them for agarbattis. So incense sticks is a very aligned product. And as you know, agarbatti industry is very unorganized in India. There are a lot of NGOs which are connected to agarbatti manufacturing. Women self-help groups which are involved with puja-related products and selling it outside temples. And there is no brand associated with that, right? I mean, it should just smell good. So, I mean, one year it is smelling like wild berries, another year it is smelling like lavender, and the devotee is like, "ठीक है यार, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. It should smell good at the end of it." So this is how the entire FNF surplus started, and not only this, we were able to even process some orange oil. Orange oil again, it's a very just like if you see an orange, it like sort of decays very quickly. So same is with orange oil. Orange oil is a very sensitive product. So if we store it over a longer period of time, the entire composition changes. So orange oil is also one of the surplus which we regularly get from Southern American countries, from Latin America, and from Italy, which is one of the biggest producers of citrus in the world. And we are able to repurpose them and use it in the Indian markets.
How interesting. Yeah? Absolutely interesting. Yeah. So tell us about your Ascent journey, Nikunj. I mean, I want you to tell us about the Ascent journey and also about a little about your personal side, your hobbies, your family. Let's take up all those things.
Right. So Ascent journey has been phenomenal. I was going through some major, introspections around 2018-19. And that was also on business front also because we had like sort of, peaked. When I joined business, I was like, yeah, 100 crore rupees hona chahiye turnover, And in 2017, we reached 100 crores and I was like, okay, I've made it in life. Now what next? So that time I started introspecting, and that is where my Ascent journey started. Okay, मुझे लगा कि भाई whatever we had, it took us from there to here. Now moving from here to beyond, I need some handholding. I need that trust group. I need a sounding board of directors which is outside my family. So Ascent journey that way has been phenomenal. My entire trust group. I come from trust group Symphony. We are constituted 2 years back, and each and every member is like just a call away. And they have all contributed immensely to my understanding of their business, and also like the entire concept of sharing, just sharing things, personal highs, personal lows. The entire check-in format is phenomenal. But yes, I mean it's a long-term thing. What I understand is that Ascent Trust Group. First of all, trust building takes time. So I mean, a phenomenal Ajit, you've been there for last 10 years. You said. I definitely wish to spend that longer time, and I can't even imagine how immensely the entire journey is going to contribute to my personal and my professional development. So I love horse riding, and as I said, I love traveling also. So I've been into aviation. Those are my particular interest. My family, I'm a part of the larger family business, and I also have two sons, Advait and Sashmit. They are 11 years and 5 years old. Unfortunately, I was going through some major marital crisis during that time, and since last 3 years, I haven't been able to, meet my children very often. It is very, upsetting that the Indian system of managing marital conflict is a little challenging, because in India we consider marriage as a very sacrosanct institution, and even in business, like for that matter, we have partnerships, and very often things don't align after beyond a point. I mean, it starts very well, but I think just like in business, in family also, we need to understand that there could be discontinuity outcomes, and when we reach a stage where the partnership is not workable anymore, we should find ways and means to resolve our conflict and part ways amicably. So during that time also, I have been started another initiative, a social initiative, where we organize a community of men who are dealing with such conflicts. And particularly, Ajit, I want to point out is that the entire Ascent journey has helped me a lot set up that format also, because just like we have a trust group in Ascent, where we share, and the entire format is basically of a support group format, where people are completely unrelated to you, and they do not have a sphere of influence, and they do not have layered interest in the entire in your journey, and they come out more as well-wishers and sort of unconditionally being there for you. So the entire Ascent journey helped me a lot with organizing this community of men, which we call Nyaya Prayas, and help them deal with their conflict, with their issues. So just to tell you that marital dispute industry in India is close to 1,20,000 crores. Okay, which is like,
oh my gosh,
which is exceeding almost at par with 1 month GST collection in the country. So that is where the problem is, because as a marketeer, as a air conditioning industry, or as any other industry which I come across usually in Ascent, there's a lot of value proposition which we are creating, right, for the world, for the society at large. But unfortunately, the marital law industry does not really create any value proposition for anybody.
Nikunj, sorry to interrupt you on this. I want you to bring out that other aspect. I understand it's very unfortunate that you're going through this, and you're talking about a dispute where it's about access rights to your children, right? If I'm right, is that what is the bottleneck? Yeah. Tell me something. How has this impacted?
Yeah, that is where the bottleneck is. Because I'm sorry.
How has this impacted your business? Has it had any impact on your business?
Yes, it had a very big impact, and it almost like coincided with COVID. And I went through some, major detachment, because in process of wrapping my mind around alienating from my children, I sort of developed a detachment with my business also at the same time. And the entire way the family business is structured is, inheritance is a very big part of your business, right? And many often the people who are in the business, they are like, nahi, hum to aage ki generation ke liye kar rahe hain. Okay. And then suddenly the aage ki generation was nowhere in the picture. Okay. I couldn't see them only. And so the entire purpose of doing the business went for a toss in my case. And then I was fortunate to, come across some amazing well-wishers, my spiritual mentor, and also my Ascent friends also. And we repurposed it to a trustee concept, that the business is for the larger good of the society. So almost for a year and a half, 2 years, I was out of action completely. And
oh my God, that's really tough on the business. This is tough on the business, tough on your own personal life, everything. Oh my God. I don't know if you're aware of it, but to all our viewers, I want to actually showcase this. These are mental health issues that entrepreneurs face, where everybody tends to see the brighter side of just entrepreneurs. But if you look at this, go to this website, ascentfoundation.in, and you will find this section called as the Entrepreneur Mental Health and Wellbeing Toolkit. It has been set up by Ascent and the Mariwala Health Initiative. Fabulous 2 studies here. You can find them out here. You can just download them, read it out. Very interesting stuff. You must go through this, and it's been an eye-opener for most Ascent members who are entrepreneurs, like Nikunj, who just spoke about it. Check it out. It's available for anybody on the website. It's the Entrepreneur Mental Health, a Wellbeing Toolkit. Fabulous stuff. Great research work done by the Mariwala Health Initiative. Fabulous stuff. And thanks, Nikunj, for actually stepping out and sharing that. Very few people actually talk about everyone likes to talk about the opportunities, the growth, and how you built it. But nobody knows the inside story. We are also just humans, and we face our own challenges, and it has a huge impact on business. Absolutely. But thanks a lot. We've actually overshot a little bit on our time, but it's been a pleasure to have you with us, and it's been fantastic listening. It was very educative, learning about, we've learned quite a bit about Aroma today. What do you say, Ali?
Absolutely. And I think, Nikunj, you spoke from the heart. I think that's very rare. So thank you for sharing that. Very, 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 very insightful and very, very touching.
Thank you, Ajit and Nalim. You got the best out of this talk, and I mean, amazing work you guys are doing, and entire Ascent Foundation, as you spoke about, Ajit, the entire mental health aspect, so crucial. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that we're part of this forum, and it is so comprehensive and wonderful. So many ways.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Nikunj. Thanks for all that sharing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Oh man, that was good. I'm so glad he brought it out. Yeah, I'm so glad he really brought it up. So we did cross by a minute, but yes, for those who guys who are just watching us and just enjoy our shows, share it with your friends, share a good insight, and join us every Friday at 11. And if you believe you want to aspire, like how Nikunj decided, that he wants to be a 100 crore company and grow to that next level. And if you believe you're growth ready, get to ascentfoundation.in and apply for membership. A rider here, it's not like you pay a fee and get an immediate membership. Ascent team will get in touch with you, evaluate you. And if you're truly growth ready entrepreneur, we'll be happy to have you as part of our cohort. So that's all for today. What do you say, Ali?
Right. Great show, and have a great week ahead, and see you soon next Friday.
Next Friday, 11 o'clock. And do share this. It's a fabulous thing because I personally believe entrepreneurs have to put up a very strong show, because of they lead companies and everything. But Nikunj actually shared with us saying that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's fine. Absolutely. We're just humans. And that's a fantastic thing. Thank you very much, guys. See you next Friday at 11 o'clock. See you. Bye-bye.